going right now. Okay. All right, this is Johnny Bergen with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson. If you don't know what that was, it was Let's Renew Our Love by Baby Boy Warren, by request from one of my awesome Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much, and I'm so glad I got into this Baby Boy Warren stuff. If you like these big chords, we'll talk about that one. It's just, you're going to love this stuff. And the bass lines, there's always some funny, cool things about it that make it not exactly typical. It put his Baby Boy Warren stamp on there. And he's a master of open strings. I'm going to do the second go around now. That might have been wrong. Back to this thing. Same thing here. As you can see, there's so much great stuff in here. So I'm going to break it down a little bit. And this song it's a lot like Taxi Driver too. Taxi Driver has two guitars in there, Little George Jackson on the other guitar. And if we have time, we'll get to Santa Fe, which has Calvin Frazier on guitar. And we're going to come back to Calvin Frazier later. But man, this stuff is just killer. So you need a good distorted tone. I've just got my PV Bandit here. What the heck? It's pretty good. And it starts out, this is an F with a capo. Starts out here. It's just like the long A chord and all the way up 9th and 13th. Now, he's a master of open strings, these clanging open strings. So he's not doing this. That's what I thought at first with my first finger here on the G string, but he's doing the open string on the open E string. Open E strings. That's cool. That's 12 and 10 on the A and D string, just like this, which is his turnaround like over and over again. Just did the same thing an octave higher. So that's cool. Everything's kind of on the 13th and 11th fret, G, B, and E strings. I like the way you have this note together, and that gives you that bite there. Then he goes right into his bass lines, and it kind of reminds me of Muddy Waters' bass lines. He really sounds like he's walking somewhere, you know? I'm just going to pretend this is an open, and this is 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. You know, you got to get that in there, which is 3rd fret up, 4th fret up, pretending the capo is 0, right? So far, so good, right? Except till he does this. And then he actually stops. It's like, that is a real style point there. And now, you got two choices. Or, I think he does that. 1st fret, D string, 2nd fret. Just slide with your finger. You got to be doing some sliding here. And then, I love this. Hit them both and get that bite. It's fifth, 3 frets up here, 5th fret up from the capo on the D string. It's 3 frets from where your first finger is kind of planted. Why don't people do this more often? And then he always walks back into the 1. You know, it reminds me of Calvin Frazier, who I guess they were running partners, I guess. If you look at the very first thing Calvin Frazier did, the acoustic thing, he's doing a bass line like this on the 4, which is just, oh, I love that. They're like piano boogie-woogie bass lines. This is the kind of thing where there really is more to meet the eye, more than what meets the eye right off the top. It seems like, oh, I've heard this before. Well, it's actually, there's some little twists in there, huh? Let's see if I can walk into 1. And it seems like this guy is just a master, not just of the open strings, but of this kind of stuff. And then you have the B chord with the low E string, 2nd fret. And then he did this thing that Robert Nighthawk does, like this. Sounds like he's muting the A string, the G string, maybe by mistake. This is 4th fret up, 2nd fret up. And then if you want to talk about more awesome open string stuff, his first turnaround's kind of like this. It's like... So he's jumping up there just for the top of his turnaround. I think it's the 14th and 13th fret G and B strings. It's just kind of... See how that's kind of the middle of your F bar chord? He has this way of just like always moving forward with either the middle of the chord or you know, he's just right in the chord and that's his turnaround. You know, it's not silly stuff like that's fine, but you know, he's more... It's an earthier groove there. And it rings. So that's the way he does that turnaround. Later on, he just goes... Which is also awesome. Just like, you know, he's just kind of rocking in the middle of his chords. Like even on the 5 in the solo, he goes... That's just cool. So, okay, I'm going to talk a bit about the solo now. It's so funny, his chords and open strings are so rich that the solo almost sounds like almost empty. Not empty, but it's, you know, the solo is kind of smaller in a way, you know, but when he finally goes to like single lines. But it's a really nice solo. He goes, gotta have a nice tug there. I'm just using my first 2 fingers here. It kind of feels comfortable. And then he goes something like that. So one really answers the other, right? And then he answers with something really heavy. I love the way his like lead lines sort of end up being a bass line. That's cool. Because once he gets down to the D string, he's thinking about the E, A, and D strings as these walking things. So he worked his way down to the D string, and then he started walking. And now it's like, I'm going to keep on walking. You know, I wonder which came first, you know. There's definitely some similarities with Jimmy Rogers. Like even the last line of this song is, when I first met you, baby, I didn't intend to treat you right. And Jimmy Rogers sings that too. This is a very Jimmy Rogers bass line kind of thing. R. I love that. it feels really good to do this little tug, 5 frets up, from your capo, open. So whichever way it came from, I think everybody was doing it. This is what the hip guitar players were doing back then. And then he does something that reminds me a lot of J.B. Lenore. Something like that, out of this D-shaped chord. Any old way you want to do that. It always sounds good, right? And then that's what he... And then he's back to his song again. So, wow, that's pretty exciting stuff. What he was doing that second verse around is pretty great, right? So he's just he just walked his way up. That's a hammer on first fret. And then he goes, I'll just take it up here. He's doing this while he's singing, by the way. Wow. Yeah. So this is just a gold mine. So those are some of the highlights of Let's Renew Our Love. And Taxi Driver is the same thing, except it also has a second guitar for more richness. So Santa Fe has that same muscular bass line. It just has a different groove. So these are the kind of bass lines you find on that Big John Rensher stuff. And on the five, that's cool, huh? So from the 5, that's a 4th fret up, and then do the hammer on the 5th and 6th. Open. And he pretty much sticks to that the whole time. And it's a real cool rhythm part. I'm hearing that high E string in there a bunch. That is so cool. Dang. It's like, what is that, man? So this is... That makes sense, right? That's 13 and 14. And then he goes... Crazy, but I love it. He's kind of doing a boogie-woogie pattern here. And then just reaching his 3rd finger out and doing that and tugging it a little bit. So that's just wild. That's probably Calvin Frazier. He's another transitional figure like Jesse Thomas or someone where they started out real acoustic and doing this. And then they ended up playing like T-Bone Walker, in their own little way, right? Or in their own big way. So another interesting guy when you look at the stuff he did later, like Blues Bebop and all that. He has so many clever songs, and there's always really clever guitar and interesting bass lines, interesting little chords. Like, that's amazing to me. Have fun with these songs. I know that both Calvin Frazier and Baby Boy Warren died in the 70s. Probably, I don't know if any of you guys out there got to see him, got to play with him, got to know him. He did have something of a comeback. There's some live stuff on that Stop Breaking Down record that was from the 70s. So anything to do with Baby Boy Warren, please put it in the comments. Keep picking, and thanks for watching. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel and join me on Patreon. See you guys next time.